So welcome back to my channel. Today I can discuss the poem The Ball poem by John Berryman, and I want to discuss some important topics and some important questions on this poem. So as your midterm exam is knocking at the door, I want to discuss few important questions on the poem. So watch till end so that you can get some important topic and few important points on that poem. So I want to start by telling you that the name of the poet is John Berryman, The Ball poem. So name of the poet is important for your exam. And the next important part is that you can have a short overview of the poem, that the poem means or the inner meaning of the poem. So the poem in an outer surface it looks like very simple, a very easy topic, but there is a inner meaning of the poem. The poem is about the loss of a ball while the boy was playing with that ball, and the poem is about the loss of the ball, which represents the possessions which we own in our materialistic world. And the loss of the ball indicates that the loss means the loss of our relatives, our near and dear ones. That means by losing the ball, the poet tries to indicate that we cannot get the hold of all the materialistic possessions for the lifetime or for the time immemorial. So the poem suggests on one hand that the people whom we love and our material possessions will not last longer with us forever, and it also makes us learn that we have to cope up with that situation. How can we recover the situation? How can we recover that loss? This is the inner meaning of the poem, The Ball poem. So the ball here represents the materialistic world which we cannot get hold for the lifetime. And the next important part is the poetic devices of the poem. So what are the main or important poetic devices? It is very important to learn. So the first poetic device is repetition. So if you have a look at the text, then you can get the repetition of what the phrase is repeated, and also balls and balls repeated. So this is the repetition of words or phrases. And next, what is that? Alliteration is there. So alliteration means the repetition of the consonant sound, and in the poem the repetition occurs or the alliteration occurs in the phrases like what and what, balls and balls, or buys a ball back. There the sound B is repeated. And there is also another poetic device, that is metaphor. So what is metaphor? Metaphor means the hidden comparison between two things or objects. So in this poem, the lost ball here is the metaphor of the boy's childhood. So the loss of the ball, with the loss of the ball, the boy is also losing his own childhood, his own past memories. So these poetic devices are important for your exam. And now coming to the portion of the important questions, what may come in your exams are: why does the poet say, I would not intrude on him? And also it is important, why does not he offer him money to buy another ball? So why does the poet say, I would not intrude on him? Because the poet wants to make the boy learn that he can cope up or he can overcome the process of losing in a natural way. He can learn the process of losing and he can cope up, he can overcome, he can recover all the lost things in a natural way. So the poet does not want to disturb him, to intrude on him, or to interfere on the process of losing and the process of understanding, in the process of realization of his own self. And in the next question, why does not he offer him money to buy another ball? This question is also important because that would be worthless. He wants the boy to learn the lesson of responsibility, and he also wants to accept that losses are part of life. That's why the poet does not offer him the money to buy another ball after losing the past ones or the former ones. The next important question is, what does the phrase mean, the world of possessions? This question is also important because in our lives we are always worried about the objects. We get hold of that objects in our life, so we are always worried about the objects which are very near and dear ones, and not only the objects but also the close ones like our relatives, our friends, and everyone with whom we are very much closed and attached. So this kind of materialistic possession is the fact the poet here he is indicating. So the kind of materialistic possession and the sense of possession is meant by the phrase the world of possession. And next important question may be that what does the poet say the boy is learning from the loss of the ball? Try to explain in your own word. So we can say that the boy is learning and experiencing grief and sadness as a natural process. We cannot get hold of things and the persons with whom we are attached to. That's why the poet wants to indicate that realization of loss and the understanding of the concept of loss is very much important in our life. So the lost ball indicates or metaphors the objects or the persons which we can lose in our process of life, in our cycle of life. So coming to few additional questions, we can also say that what does the ball symbolize? So the ball symbolizes the boy's childhood. And the next important question may be, some literary devices are important like and no one buys a ball back. I have already discussed it, that the buys a ball back means it is the example of alliteration because the sound consonant sound B is repeated in this line. Next, the phrase the epistemology of loss is also important. Epistemology of loss means the nature of loss. And the another question which is important is, what should we learn from the ball poem? The main theme of the ball poem is the gain and loss are two sides of the same coin. It is a natural process and we have to overcome, we have to recover from that loss, from that sense of loss. Now what is important for your exam? The questions like few stanzas, few lines may be quoted from the poem and you have to answer from that quoted part. Like, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over there. It is in the water. These lines are very important for explanation. And I can say that comment on the poet's use of the phrase no one buys a ball back. This is very important phrase from the poem. So this line means that no one can buy the ball to the boy because he had lost it, and which we lost, we cannot get the same thing ever. We can buy that thing, but we cannot get back the same memories ever which are attached with that object or with that person. That's why these lines are important. And another question may be, what does John Berryman want to convey through this poem? So for this part, you can prepare yourself the summary or the main theme or the substance of the poem, which will help you to answer any question from the poem. Next question may be, what is the boy's loss of his ball used as a metaphor for? Or another important line is money is external. Why does the poet say so, or what does the poet mean by this expression? So money is external means the poet here wants to say that he wants to make the boy realize the sense of loss. So the memories which are attached to that lost object cannot come back. It cannot be returned. It cannot be replaced by money. So the memories are important. The nostalgia, childhood is important. The sense of loss is important. We have to realize that we have to cope up with the situation of loss. That's why the poet is saying the money is external. And another important question, why was the boy upset on losing his ball? This is very important, and this has also come in the year of 2019 in your board exam. This line means that why was the boy upset? Because the boy so much loved that possession with which he was attached to, and the memories, his life was linked with that memories of that ball, and the ball was lost forever. He cannot get it back by any means. Though anyone offers him money, but still he cannot buy that same ball. He cannot buy that memories. He cannot get that memories. That's why this line is important. And the next important question is, what does the poet mean by the epistemology of loss in the ball poem? So the epistemology of loss means the poet is trying to give him a greater lesson, the sense of learning the process of loss, the sense of understanding or realizing, the sense of teaching oneself how to overcome the loss, how to understand that which we lost is lost forever. We cannot get it back. So we have to be self-reliant, and we have to be self-dependent. And for broad questions or long answer type questions, question may come like, why it is important for everyone to experience loss and to stand up after it. So you can prepare it. This question is important as a long answer type question. So how can we how can we overcome the loss? How can we stand up after losing one thing which is very important? So we have to be emotionally strong. We have to realize that nothing in the world is immortal. Everything, every object, every man or woman has its own validity. So we cannot get hold of anything or any person our lifetime. So, and it also means that we cannot replace that memories by money or by anything else. So we have to be emotionally strong to make ourselves recover from that sense of loss. So these questions are important. So you can comment in the comment box if you want any more videos, or if you want any more or any specific chapter for the discussion. Thank you for watching.